So this bird on my shoulder is the manifestation of the tuning's resonance?
Exactly. And these symbols I see floating above people's heads would be the weal and woe signs you mentioned, General?
That's right. To become an Arbiter General, one must undergo 3 ceremonies. The Rainbow Ordainment, the Rainbow's Gaze, and the Bestowal of Spiritus. Only then can one truly take up the mantle and live up to the title. When I was appointed as the Yuchue's General, I was bestowed with the Rainbow Spiritus called Kalachakra Sky Plume, which represents the vision of the hunt among the 7 aspects of the rainbow. A symbol of foresight, verdict, and self-discipline. Thanks to that, I gained the Eye of Ishvara, which allows me to read the flow of destiny. Since the day I arrived on this world, every person I've seen bore a crimson woe sign above their head, without exception. Within days at most, a catastrophic disaster will befall this place.
So, that red glow rising from the edge of the city is...
The blazing light, formed by the convergence of all those woe signs in Planarcadia.
In that case, General, it's all the more reason for you to wear the mask. Once your sight into the future is strengthened, you won't need to fear the deathly omen in your readings.
Mr. Sunday, have you heard the diviner's iron law? Never divine the same matter twice.
In Penacony, diviners also warn clients beforehand. You can't ask for another spread just because you dislike the result. There's a reason for that, isn't there?
Divining the future is, in essence, a form of observation and calculation. It's an interference with the future. Each reading drives the murky future towards a definite outcome. A collapsed quantum state, even if that outcome isn't to one's liking. To be honest, when I set out for Planarcadia, I had fully intended to personally participate in the Phantasmoon Games. But the moment I laid hands on the mask, I understood the consequences of wearing it. Once this miraculous item is donned, the Eye of Ishvara would transcend mere sight and permeate throughout this realm. The Kalachakra Sky Plume would predict the future of all beings at tens of billions of instances per second.
You're saying that simply by your observation, our future would become fixed.
Indeed, just like how the Wisdom Walker expounded the way of destiny, anchoring the fated moments. If I wore the mask, I would become the noose of Planarcadia, and I would personally anchor a destiny that drives us all into a bottomless darkness. We will become locked in a dead end, with not a shred of hope for salvation. Close one. I passed the trial. There's still a sliver of hope in this round. The Abundance Axis broke our lines and invaded the Fenghu homeland. The abominations awakened a living demonic star, intending to sink the Xianzhou Fenghu. With no other options, the Alliance staked everything on my Junior Soar's plan. To operate the astronomical observation device, the Cloud Peer Telescope, to signal the rainbow for aid, using their Lux arrow to strike down the demon star. Whoever operated the Cloud Peer Telescope would not return. It was to be a one-way trip.
So, your Junior Soar.
You guessed wrong. The one who offered his life was my master, who taught me divination. It was Master Jingtian, then the Yuchue's Master Diviner, and the only high official authorized to operate that device. He accepted his fate and ventured to the Fenghu. Going with him into certain death were Yueyu, the previous Yaoqing general who guarded the Cloud Peer Telescope, and the Verdant Knights under her command. I was responsible for assessing the entire plan's feasibility and mending its gaps. I activated the Decalite reflection barrier, calculating and casting lots again and again. I watched as the starlight, representing countless possibilities, flickered within the reflections, faint, wavering, until the vast shadow of a pondering god swallowed them whole. And they vanished into the abyssal dark at the edges of the universe. In that moment, I understood that I had cemented my master and countless soldiers into an inescapable doom. When the Lux arrow fell, they would perish along with the enemy and that demonic star. All reduced to ashes.
You sacrificed so many comrades just to ensure the enemy's fall.
To Penaconians, that must seem incredibly cruel, right?
As someone born in an era of peace, I have no right to judge. Perhaps the founders of Penacony could understand the necessity.
Fool or not, it was my duty. And so I had to witness and remember their sacrifice. When I saw the Lux arrow descend, I realized the Xianzhou Alliance had actually directed an Eon's actions. This realization illuminated the mission of my remaining years. In this cold, merciless cosmos, when you're trapped in despair, an Eon's intervention is often the only hope. We are not ants, helpless beneath the celestial spheres as we simply watch the stars turn. Instead, their trails were forged by us, who offered up a portion of our insignificant destiny. Even beings as mighty as the Eons can be pulled by our will.